Hello children, hope you all are doing very good. For the next academic session, we will start with a new chapter in chemistry, chemical reactions and equations. Before we start, I want all of you to maintain 100 pages unruled book for science. Note down all the equations, definitions that come in the video. They are important from the exam point of view. So now we will start a new session. Children, consider these situations in our daily life. For example, what happens when milk is turning to curd, an iron nail getting rusted when it is exposed to humid atmosphere, or when the food is getting cooked, and when we consume the cooked food, what happens? Or what happens when we breathe or when we respire? So in all these situations, we notice one thing: the substance which has undergone a reaction doesn't remain to be the same. It has changed. So either a physical change or a chemical change has happened in all these situations, right? When we say physical change, physical state, it means solid getting converted to liquid, or from liquid to gas, from solid to gas. We have seen all these in the previous classes. So what happens when there is a chemical change? What are the things that happen during a chemical reaction? We will see that. In this slide, you see that you consider these two activities: burning of magnesium ribbon in air and collection of magnesium oxide in a watch glass. What does it mean? Take a magnesium ribbon, or maybe a 10 centimeter magnesium ribbon, we burn it and collect the powder. Actually, what happens when the magnesium ribbon is burnt? You can see a dazzling white flame, and that gets converted to a powder form and gets collected in the watch glass. This is what happens when activity 1 is conducted. What happens when activity 2 is conducted? When zinc granules, zinc is also a metal like magnesium. We get it in the form of granules. All these things are available in our school laboratory. When these zinc granules are combined with dilute sulfuric acid in a conical flask, what happens is you can see the hydrogen gas getting evolved or formed. And we also see, if you touch the flask, you can see that it is hot. That is, there is a rise in the temperature after the reaction has happened. So we say that in all these situations that we discussed before, and in these two activities, there is some chemical change which has happened, and we call that as a chemical reaction. So what happens when a chemical reaction takes place? What are the changes that we see when a chemical reaction has taken place? We see that there is a change in the state. When we say state, it is physical state, solid, liquid, gas. And also when there is a chemical reaction, we see another state called as aqueous state. That is the solid getting dissolved in water and stays as a solution. So we call that as an aqueous state. There is a change in the color. Then there is an evolution of a gas. In our previous example or the activity, we saw that there is a evolution of hydrogen gas, or there can be a change in the temperature. That is in the activity 2. We see that there is a rise in the temperature. So any of these 4 changes happen when there is a chemical reaction, or when a chemical reaction has taken place. So what is chemical equation? Chemical equation represents a chemical reaction in which the reactants, products and their physical states are represented. Here, for the example, is magnesium. Magnesium ribbon that we discussed in the activity, when it is burnt, when we say it is burnt, it is combining with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. So here we represent this chemical reaction in a form of an equation. We use a plus sign and an arrow mark. Plus sign is for more than one product or reactant. Arrow arrow mark is a direction of the chemical reaction. So when magnesium is combined with oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide. Here the reactants are magnesium and oxygen, and the product is magnesium oxide. We can write this word form in the symbolic form also. Here you see magnesium, what is the symbolic form of magnesium? Is Mg, and oxygen is O2. So magnesium oxide is MgO. So this we call it as chemical equation. So we do not leave the chemical equation as it is. For example, what happens when hydrogen and oxygen combine? It forms water. Here you see that in the reactants you see 2 atoms of hydrogen, and in the product 2 atoms of hydrogen, and oxygen 2 atoms of oxygen, and then in the product we see 1 atom of oxygen. So in the reactants you can see that there is 1 atom more than the product. So we call this as an unbalanced chemical equation, or we call that as a skeletal equation. So what is a skeletal equation? Which is an unbalanced chemical equation. What is balanced chemical equation? Why should a chemical equation be balanced? So as per law of conservation of mass that we learnt in the previous class, in 9th class, the total mass of elements present in the products of a chemical reaction has to be equal to the total mass of the elements present in the reactants. That is, consider this example, H2O as 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. That is the product, the total mass of the elements present in the products. What about the mass of the elements present in the reactant? Oxygen has got 2 atoms, whereas hydrogen has got 2 atoms. So we need to balance this. That is, we need to equalize all the atoms present in reactant as well as product. How do we do this? We can see. So we will see how to balance a chemical equation. Example, H2 plus O2 gives you H2O. Hydrogen plus oxygen gives you water. How this is it is in the skeletal form. That is, it is not balanced. How do we say it is not balanced? Because we compare each and every element from the reactant and the product. Hydrogen, when we compare, it is 2 atoms. In the product it is 2 atoms. The reactant oxygen is 2 atoms and oxygen is 1 atom. So it is unbalanced. So we need to balance this equation. So what is the first step that we do is we write down all the elements on the reactants and the product. Hydrogen, right there, symbolic form. So for hydrogen it is H, and for oxygen we can write it as O. The symbolic form is atmospheric oxygen is O2. Here for simplicity we write only O. How many atoms are here on the reactant? 2. Oxygen is 2, and for hydrogen it is 2, and oxygen it is 1. Right. So oxygen is 1 atom. So how do we balance? Here oxygen is less by 1, so we will make it 2. Now oxygen and hydrogen we compare. All the atoms are equal. How do we add this additional 1 atom here? We should either add 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is already 1 here. So we need to start with 2. But once we add a coefficient here, oxygen is 2. What about hydrogen? We multiply this coefficient with the number of atoms. For example, here H is 2. 2 into 2, 4. Hydrogen becomes 4. When we increased oxygen by 1, so oxygen is 2. What happens to hydrogen? 2 into 2. We need to multiply with the coefficient. That is 4. What happens to hydrogen on the reactants? It is 2. It is less by 2 again here. So when we add 2 here, what happens to hydrogen? 2 into 2, 4. Now we can see that hydrogen on the reactant and on the product is equal, oxygen on the reactant and product is equal. Therefore, this will be our balanced equation. Initially, you can write all these elements and leave it. You don't have to clear this or erase. Later, when you get used to this balancing, then you don't have to write the elements individually. We will go to the next example. What happens when a natural gas is burned? Burning of natural gas. When we say natural gas, what is the chemical formula of natural gas? It is methane CH4. I told you what is burning. It is combining with oxygen, atmospheric oxygen to give methane, combines with oxygen to give CO2 and water. Now we will write the elements: carbon, hydrogen and oxygen on the reactants, and we have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen on the product. How many carbon atoms are there on the reactants? When we say reactants, we should sum up all the compounds. So here it is 1. Hydrogen we have 4 atoms. Oxygen we have 2 atoms. Coming to the product. Carbon we have 1. Hydrogen we have 2. Oxygen, you need to add this 1 atom with 2 atoms. That is the sum of all the atoms on the product. So we can see that carbon and oxygen are balanced. What about hydrogen? Here it is falling short. So we need to add hydrogen here. If you add, there is already 1. There is no number here. There is no, if there is no number on the coefficient, it means it is 1. We need to consider that as 1. Here already there is 1. So we want to increase it. So we can increase it only by 2. We need to start adding from 2. So the coefficient is 2. What happens to hydrogen? 2 into 2, 4. What happens to hydrogen here on the products? 4. Oxygen is 2. 2 plus oxygen 2 here. So oxygen becomes 4 here. So coming to the reactant. So since there is a change that has happened here, we have added, we need to compare it with a reactant. 1, 4, oxygen is 2 here and here it is 4. We will add 2 to 4. 2 into 2. So it becomes 4. Now you can see that the atoms are balanced. And so this will be our balanced equation. We will consider one more example. Iron, when combined with water or when it reacts with water to give iron oxide and hydrogen gas. Here, if you write down all the elements from the reactants: iron, hydrogen and oxygen, iron, hydrogen and oxygen. How many atoms are there here? 1. Just look at the coefficient. If nothing is there, that means it is 1. So hydrogen it is 2. Oxygen is 1. What about the products? It is 3 atoms here. Hydrogen 2. Oxygen 4. So since iron is 3 here and 1, we can directly make it 3. Instead of going to 2, instead it falls short, so we will directly make it 3 here. Okay? Before you write it in the equation, first we will balance it in the elements individually. Then hydrogen is balanced, oxygen here it is 1 and oxygen here on the product is 4. So if you make it, we cannot make it 4 directly. If you make it directly 4, what happens to hydrogen? If you write 4 in the coefficient, 4 into 2, 8, right? So we will do that. Fe3, if you write hydrogen as 2, oxygen you want to make it 4. Here oxygen is 4, iron is 3, hydrogen is 2. Here we have not made any change. Here what happens to hydrogen now? Fe remains to be 3, hydrogen 4 into 2, 8. So we will change that. 4 into 2, 8, and oxygen is 4. Now we will see iron we don't have to balance. Hydrogen, here it is 8 and here it is 2. With what will you multiply to get 8? We can add 4. So what happens to hydrogen? 8 and oxygen 4. Now it is balanced. This is the balanced equation now. So what we seen in the previous method is writing down the elements individually on the reactant and the product and be balanced. So there is another method. If you consider this example again, Fe3O4 plus H2. So many people find that as easy, writing down the elements individually and balancing. So what we do is, there are few steps that you can consider for balancing the chemical equation without writing down the elements. Consider the compound which has got more number of atoms. In this equation, either in the reactant or on the product side, find out a compound or identify a compound which has got more number of atoms. It is Fe3O4. It has more atoms when compared to others. So here we start balancing from this compound. Fe is 3. So directly I write 3 here and O is 4. I am not looking at hydrogen now. O is 4. O is here 1. I directly write 4. So what happens to Fe? Fe is unaffected here. Then what about O? O is 4. But what happens to hydrogen? 4 into 2, 8. So here it is 2. I need to get 8. So with what will I multiply to get 8? 4. So directly we can balance the chemical equation like this. So you choose any method that is convenient to you. So children, now you know how to balance a chemical equation. So in this example, 2H2 combines with O2 to give 2H2O. We will see other examples. Consider this example where iron combines with steam to form iron oxide and releases hydrogen gas. So this is a skeletal form. So here if you see, H2O is not a liquid. It is not mentioned as liquid. It is mentioned as gas. That means it is in the steam form. So when iron combines with steam to form iron oxide or also ferric oxide, releasing hydrogen gas. How do we balance this equation? So the balanced equation gives you 3Fe plus 4H2O gives Fe3O4 and 4H2. So please write down this the skeletal equation in the notebook. Add the atoms the way it was taught to you. Then you will get the balanced equation. So here is the assignment. You can see that the equations, the chemical reaction is given in a word form. Hydrogen plus chlorine combines to give hydrogen chloride. Barium chloride plus aluminium sulfate gives barium sulfate plus aluminium chloride. Sodium plus water gives you sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. It's in the word form. So please write the symbolic form and then balance it. This assignment I will check it in the next week. So please complete it, children. We will go to the next concept, that is types of chemical reactions. We have combination reaction, decomposition, displacement, double displacement, and oxidation and reduction. Before starting with the combination reaction, we will learn something called as exothermic and endothermic reactions. All the chemical reactions in which heat is released along with the formation of products, we call them as exothermic reactions. It can be any type of reactions, any type of chemical reaction. It can be combination, decomposition, or displacement. If we see that there is a heat released in that reaction along with the formation of products, we call those reactions as exothermic. So from the name we say exo is giving away, thermic is heat. So for example, burning of natural gas. Natural gas is nothing but methane. We will see the chemical equations in the subsequent sessions. Endothermic reactions are, endo is taking reactions in which energy is absorbed. Taking in or absorb is called as endo, right? So endothermic reactions are the reactions in which they absorb the energy, and that energy can be heat energy, light energy, or electricity for breaking down the reactants. For this example is electrolysis of water. So the water decomposes to hydrogen and oxygen in endothermic reaction. So we will go to the combination reaction. We will take up each type of reaction in detail. So what is combination reaction? When two or more substances combine to form a single product, the reaction is called combination reaction. Here the keyword is combine. That is, when two or more substances, it can be elements or it can be compounds. What do you mean by a compound? The combination of elements. They are combined in a particular or a constant ratio. So they are compounds. So it can be elements or compounds. When they combine to form a single product, the reaction is called as combination reaction. The examples are burning of coal. Coal is a form of carbon. So I've already mentioned what is burning. Whenever you see burning in a chemical reaction, you should write O2 in the chemical equation. That is, coal is a form of carbon, I said. So carbon plus O2 gives you CO2, which is a gas. So carbon, coal is in a solid form, right? We all know coal. So when carbon combines or burns, it gives carbon dioxide. We can see the black fumes coming out, right, when the coal is burnt. So this is an example for combination reaction. So what is formation of water from hydrogen and oxygen? So when hydrogen combines with oxygen, it gives you water, but it is in the steam form. Another example, burning of natural gas. So natural gas is nothing but methane. Methane is, the formula for methane is CH4. It's in the gas form. So methane, when it is burnt, that is, it is in the equation, we will write it as combining it with oxygen, atmospheric oxygen. So methane, when it combines with atmospheric oxygen, it gives you carbon dioxide gas and water in the steam form. So these are the examples for combination reaction. So please write down the equations and balance it. So in this next slide, we see that this is a snippet from a textbook. From our 10th standard science textbook. You have this in your textbook. So all these activities which are mentioned in the blue box in the textbook are very important in the exam point of view. So we will conduct many of these activities in the school laboratory. The other activities, you can write down the equation and practice it. So here there is another activity for combination reaction. Take a small amount of calcium oxide. So there is a beaker here. We take calcium oxide. It is a solid form. It's like a granules. So we call that as quicklime. Calcium oxide in the beaker. Slowly add water to this. What happens is, you can see a white color solution, that is calcium hydroxide is formed, and it forms a solution with the water, and there will be a rise in temperature when we touch the beaker. So what does the activity say? Touch the beaker as shown in the figure. Do you feel any change in the temperature? Yes, there will be a rise in temperature. Why? Because it is an exothermic reaction. Calcium oxide reacts vigorously with water to produce slaked lime. That is, calcium hydroxide is also called as slaked lime, releasing a large amount of heat. So calcium oxide is also called as quicklime, and calcium hydroxide, which is a product, which is also called as slaked lime. This particular reaction is very important in the exam point of view. You can see questions like, what is the common name of calcium oxide? What is the common name of slaked lime? Or calcium hydroxide, the common name is slaked lime. So what happens when calcium oxide is combined with water? Calcium hydroxide is formed along with a enormous heat. So this is a example for exothermic reaction also. Okay children, we will continue with this in our next session. Until then, complete the assignments and practice to balance the chemical equations. See you in the next session. Thank you children.